Hello and thank you for joining me again. I've already given you Daniel 2 and Daniel 7 warnings to show you that the New World Order has been warned to the world through those prophecies. Daniel gave a total of 5 prophecies concerning this event, and now I'm going to give you the third one, which is Daniel 8. Now, as I said before, I'm not a rabbi, I'm not a pastor, I'm not a preacher, I don't belong to any church or any synagogue, but I want to show you this because this is just as it reads out of the good book. You be the judge and you decide whether or not it's showing you what is going to happen or not. Now let me try and explain to you about Daniel chapter 8, the prophecy concerning the last days. And let me try and explain to you why the churches have given you misinformation and they have incorrectly given you an interpretation of it. Firstly, it talks about a goat having a war with a ram. It talks about the goat having a notable horn between its eyes. So let's put the notable horn between its eyes. So there you can see now, I've put the notable horn between its eyes, and it says that represents the first king. The churches will tell you that was Alexander the Great. Well, the first king wasn't Alexander the Great of the Grecian Empire anyway. It was his father, Philip III. Secondly, it tells you in that book that they put Greek up there where I've got Yavan. It's not Greece. The word Greece comes out of Yavan. If you go back into Genesis chapter 10 and have a quick look at the progeny out of Noah, Shem, Ham and Japheth, and you will find that the word there is Yavan in the Aramaic language. So we're talking about the Gentile nations with a notable horn represented by the goat power having a war against Medo-Persia. And if we look at who Medo-Persia is today, well, it's not hard to work that one out. If we put Iraq there and we put Iran there, and we've now got who that represents today. And when it says that it goes to war against this ram, it also says that it had 2 horns, but it says that the higher horn came up last. So let's put the higher horn there. It comes up last. It goes on also to tell you that the first horn was bombed out and completely destroyed. Well, Iraq has been bombed out and it is now completely destroyed. We are now waiting for the next part of the prophecy, which would be a war against Iran. It says that the goat power here, it goes across the whole earth without touching the ground. What if it goes across the whole earth without touching the ground? Then it's obviously coming across in B-24 bombers and the plane. It also tells you in this prophecy, though, that this notable horn here, representing the king of the Gentile nations, is broken. The word says it's broken. That could be assassinated, that could mean he's killed, that could mean deposed or voted out of office. So let's put him aside there. But when that happens, it says that in place of him, up comes 4 more horns. Now, already we showed you in Daniel 2, and particularly in Daniel 7, we showed you that there is 4 unions that are going to come into play. The American Union, the Asian Union, the African Union, and the EU. The American Union has already got their Amero, their own currency. Already today and yesterday there was notices that Japan, Sweden, Denmark, Russia, France, Germany, they're all dumping the dollar. So as you can see, when this goat power loses its notable horn, that means it loses its king or president, prime minister, chairman, whoever it represents. There is 4 more horns comes up and replaces that notable horn. And there is no doubt that that is the 4 unions that they've divided the world up into, and it's just about to happen because the American dollar is about to lose its flavour right across the world and be devalued and completely collapse. Now, with the current events that is happening in the world today, and we are in the month of October 2009, you tell me if that represents on the left-hand side of your screen now the Gentile nations who made war against Iran and Iraq. You tell me if it doesn't represent the United Nations, the New World Order, the World Health Organization, the CDC, NATO, and the World Trade Agreements, the CFR, all backed by the media. You tell me if that doesn't measure up. And you tell me if the churches have given you the correct information and the correct interpretation. Now read this with me. The four horns. It says the four horns that replaced the notable horn that was broken off represents four other kingdoms that will emerge from this nation, but they will not have their own power, or they'll not have the same power. Now that means someone is still instructing the four unions and whoever they've appointed as leaders of the four unions. They're still under the thumb of the banking cartel. That's what you'll find. They're still under the banking cartel, the New World Order. They are pressing the buttons and pulling the strings. Now here comes the worst part of this prophecy of what's going to happen to this world. It tells you in verse 9, I'll read it to you, well you read it with me. Out of one of them, that's out of the four horns there, out of one of them came another horn. We call it the little horn, which started small, but grew in power to the south and to the east and towards the beautiful land. So let's put this little horn in there, which is growing out of one of the other horns, and there's no doubt in our mind anyway that that represents the papacy. Here we find the one world government, the one world church, the one world army, the one world everything, and they want to have total control over the spiritual world. And as we said in Daniel 7, the little horn power there comes to its end, not by human hand, but wiped out by the hand of God. Again, here you're going to see in this prophecy as we go through this, it'll get wiped out also by the hand of God. Now you will remember in the Daniel 2 and in the Daniel 7 that the people that are in charge of the self-appointed rulers of the world were destroyed, but not by human hand. In other words, destroyed by the hand of the divine. And again, you're going to see that the same thing is going to happen here. Let's read it together. He will become very strong, but not by his own power. He will cause outstanding devastation and will succeed. Now this is out of the New KJV. He will cause deceit to prosper. He's a liar. And he will consider himself to be superior, and when they feel secure, he will destroy, look at that, he will destroy many and take his stand against the prince of princes, yet look what happens to him. He will be destroyed, and again it tells you, not by human power. Now if he's destroyed but not by human power, you work it out. Who destroys him? Who puts a stop to this? And thank God for that God is going to put a stop to this planned genocide, this planned murder, this insane evil. Well, there you have it. You be the judge. You work out what you think that prophecy was telling you. I know this is going against the grain of every Christian church. Every Bible down the columns says that that was the Greece power in Daniel 8. Well, I've just proven to you it is not. But because of that, all of the churches have led their people into complete, utter darkness, and they're asleep. This has been happening right in front of their nose, and nobody warned them. Now this is one of the reasons why I thought I'd put this up, because people need to know. People need to know that their churches are wrong. The interpretations they've been given are incorrect. People need to know what's happening in this world. Link it back to the old book, because the old book wrote about it thousands of years ago, telling us what to expect. Now that it's happening right in front of our nose, I hope I've just shown you exactly how you can understand it and prepare yourselves for this insane horror of what the New World Order wants to do. And there's not much we can do about it. We can't stop it. It will go ahead according to the divine plan, but at least you've had some warning about what we are in for.